And good evening. Welcome to the Mayor and City Council meeting for the month of July 2021. We'll begin with our pledge to the flag. I'll ask Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti to lead us in the pledge. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Next, let the records reflect that all council members are present and accounted for this evening. We'll begin with the approval of the minutes from the June 9th and June 14th regular meetings. These are brought up Wednesday evening, and I will ask for a motion from the council to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve both sets of minutes?
Very good. Do I have a second, please? Any discussion, amendments, anything to the minutes? All right, with a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and a second from Councilmember Fuller, and no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. And they are approved. Skip down a couple lines. We'll bring up for adoption this evening resolution, before I jump into that, I do have to ask the council if they have any conflicts of interest on anything on the agenda this evening.
No, sir.
Conflicted. Now we move on to Resolution 2021-10. This is our monthly water allocation for July of 2021. I'll seek a motion to approve if you so wish.
So moved?
And a second, please. Very good. Any discussion on the water allocation for this month? Up, everyone satisfied? So with the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and the second from Councilman Haynes, I'll ask all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Good. Next, we have for ratification, Resolution 2021-11. This is the Building Improvement Program. If you remember Wednesday evening, Council gave unanimous consensus for me to sign the resolution for the DHCD grant that our Economic Development Director was going for. That has been signed and submitted. This evening, we'd like to have it officially ratified. That has been approved by the council. So I'll seek a motion to ratify this resolution. Do I have a second, please? All right, any discussion on this resolution? None. With the motion from Councilwoman Foster and the second from Councilwoman Fuller and no additional discussion, all in favor of ratifying Resolution 2021-11 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed, say nay. Good, we are passed. With that, I'll go to Mr. Wieprick. Do you have any updates on your city manager report, sir?
I would like to just give an update on our MDE situation with the wastewater treatment plant. Last month, we talked about the penalties MDE was discussing, and we agreed to pay them after having a conference call with the department. In the meantime, we've had our internal conference call. We are still trying to schedule that conference call with MDE. Our internal call, we deemed it best to go ahead and pay those penalties to put us in a better, little better position to discuss improvements at the plant with the department. We felt like it would put us in a little better light for opening up that discussion. So we would like to go ahead and pay the $27,400, which we were authorized to do, but it was to follow the conference call, and we would like to do it prior to the conference call.
Okay, so staff is seeking from council, previous month as stated, you approved paying up to $27,400 after the conference call took place with MDE. Unfortunately, with the time being what it is, that conference call has not taken place. But the city manager recommended that we go ahead and pay the fine and then follow up with that conference call still. With that, I'd like to put that to a vote. Well, if someone could make a motion to do so.
I'll make a motion to pay the $27,400 penalty fine and subsequently to attempt the conference call with MDE.
Right, do I have a second on that?
Second.
Good. So we have motion second. Is there any discussion on this?
And what was the date? What was the date? I was just wondering how close we are.
June 11th was the day that they came back with that fine, and of course, they want a response within 14 days at that point. So
Okay, thank you.
Keeping in mind that I don't believe we received that well after the 11th, is that correct? That via email we received?
that was the email.
Post office on email for some reason. Any further discussion from the council? So on the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and the second from Councilwoman Foster to proceed with paying the fine of $27,400 to MDE, then continue trying to schedule the conference call and conducting that. And no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. All right, staff may proceed. Anything else, Mr. Wiepricht, on your report? All right, thank you very much. Any questions from Mr. Wiepricht on his report or the departmental reports as they've been presented to you?
I will just add that I did not get the running total for the recycling tipping, but
Yeah, I
we'll
was
make
just
sure that in next month's report, we have it presented in that format.
No worries at all. Thank you, Jim.
If possible, please feel free to follow up and have it emailed to council.
So,
Right, no further questions on department reports. Go to Mr. Gullo. Do you have any updates on your legal report this evening?
No updates, and I've heard from no one, so we're going to go with the idea that I'm not sure, unless you have questions or unless there is some disagreement, unless there's some question.
Questions from the council for the city attorney? Right, so we will discuss next month. That's exciting. It seems like it's been a little while.
And if there's issue, I mean, not to take too much time, but once I give you the annexation agreement, if you're comfortable with that, August doesn't, it can be September.
Okay. With that, we're going to jump down into our new business. You have in your packets a monthly financial report, and I will entertain a motion to approve. Very good. Do I have a second, please? Discussion. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, the second from Councilwoman Fuller, to approve the monthly financial report. And no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay. All right. Move on to accounts payables, and I will seek a similar motion.
Motion to approve.
Second, please.
Second.
Good. We have a motion and second. Do we have any discussion on the accounts payables? Hearing none on the motion from Councilman Haynes and the second from Councilwoman Foster to approve the accounts payables as presented. And no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay. Up next, we have this year's version of our town-county agreement. Do you have any updates that have come up since Wednesday evening?
Sure. I would like to just provide a little bit of a breakdown on the difference. I know we read the figures last time, but I wasn't able to find my little Excel sheet quickly enough. So the big difference is under the NPDES retrofits, FY21, we took $68,905 off of the initial grant. This year, we're only taking $39,682 out of it. We're paying $29,223 less for the NPDES retrofits this year. So the net difference is that we will end up with $29,101 more than we did last year.
Motion, and please specify your motion regarding the town-county agreement.
Motion to approve the town-county agreement?
Do I have a second, please? Seconded. Any discussion or questions for staff regarding the town county? Discussion on the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti and the second from Councilman Fuller. I'll ask all in favor of approving the town county agreement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed may say nay. Lastly, under new business, we have the revised use of parks capital funding for fiscal year 2022. If you recall, you were given a memo from Parks and Rec and then an addendum to the memo, yet another addendum to the memo this evening regarding changing some of the funding usage for the capital projects for Parks and Rec. Let's begin with a motion before we discuss, and I would like you to specify the motion. I think we're looking at the
Is that what you want?
entire,
Well, I was looking at the fountain,
I think we're gonna, let's leave the fountain as a separate item, actually. Let's look at her original memo and the addendum that was given to you Wednesday evening. Essentially, I don't think you're gonna have an amount, I think you're just essentially approving.
Well, I
I
think,
don't think there's an amount.
I
don't think there's an
So forget the
amount.
amount, just
think
accepting it
it's-
as changed?
Correct, approving the revised use.
Advised, thank you.
plus, do we also want to include the,
Don't complicate things right now, Mayor.
I know, it was already complicated enough.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the revised use of parks capital funding. That was the original memo you received in your packet, and then the addendum given to you Wednesday evening. Do I have a second to that motion?
second?
Very good. Now, I'm going to open it for discussion, and also if you wish to amend that motion by incorporating any additional information.
I'd like to offer an amendment to $1,867.50 for the fountain for Roberts Mill Park Pond.
Okay. Amendment has been offered to also incorporate the fountain for Roberts Mill Park Pond. I will ask the original motion maker, Councilman Fuller, if she is agreeable to amending her motion to incorporate that. Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, that you are still amenable to your second now with that amendment. Yes. All right, very good. If I may, some of the questions that we had Wednesday evening regarding the fountain have been addressed. Primarily claimed as no maintenance and no need to remove in ice conditions, all components engineered to withstand sub-zero conditions without damage. And that is on the paperwork directly from the manufacturer of the fountain. So that definitely cuts down on any labor having to move it, potential damage to it, anything like that. Keeping in mind with the aerators currently in place, it's very unlikely that that pond can actually freeze all the way through anymore. Water moving quite well. I'd like to open up to council. Do you have any additional discussion on this topic before we vote? Okay. We have the motion which has been amended to approve the revised use of parks capital funding and incorporating the fountain for Roberts Mill Pond. Councilman Fuller, the second from Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti. And with no additional discussion, I'll ask all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And anyone opposed, say nay. Are unanimous. With that, it is my honor and pleasure to invite Mr. Hand up so that I may perform the oath of office. Mr. Hand will come forward. If you can hold the mic up to his face. If you will place your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Leroy C. Hand IV,
I, Leroy C. Hand IV,
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality and prejudice,
execute the office of council member
execute the office of council member
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Congratulations, Mr. Hand. Thank you. You may have a seat. So I have attended classes at MML on running effective meetings put on by Mr. Jay Gullo. And one of the key things he says is never go off agenda. Well, tonight I'm going off agenda, and I feel that I have to. I'm going to ask Mr. Gullo if he'll join me up here, actually. It was brought to my attention that 20 years ago this month, you joined our family in Taneytown.
That is true.
Therefore, I have a proclamation for you this evening.
Well, thank you.
Proclamation from the City of Taneytown recognizing the 20-year commitment of Jack Gullo Jr. to the City of Taneytown. Whereas the City of Taneytown was established in 1754, and whereas during this long history, the City of Taneytown has relied on the sound legal advice of dedicated attorneys, and whereas the service and expertise of City Attorney Jack Gullo Jr. has stood above those who have come before him. Whereas Jack Gullo Jr. has served the City of Taneytown uninterrupted since July of 2001. Whereas Jack Gullo Jr. has previously served as the mayor of New Windsor, serves as parliamentarian for the Maryland Municipal League, attorney for other Maryland municipalities, and was awarded the 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award from the Maryland Municipal League. Whereas the Mayor and City Council of the City of Taneytown recognize and celebrate the tremendous impact Jack Gullo Jr. has had in his service of our community. And whereas the Mayor and City Council of the City of Taneytown seek to enjoy a continuing relationship long into the future of our community with Jack Gullo Jr. And therefore be it proclaimed that the Mayor and City Council of the City of Taneytown do hereby proclaim Tuesday, July 13th, 2021 as Jack J. Gullo Jr. Day in celebration of his 20 years of unwavering service to the betterment of our community. Signed by myself. And I thank you so much for everything you've done for us. Absolutely. I'm hoping for 20 more.
It's okay to go off script if it's for me.
That's exactly right. It's like, I gotta keep this a secret. No. Where are we today? All right, council member reports. And out of respect for the new council person, I don't believe he has a report, but I will give you an opportunity to say anything you wish in your new position.
I appreciate this opportunity to finish out Mr. Darrell Hale's term and doing the best of my ability to.
All right, thank you, and congratulations for joining us up here. With that, I'll go to Councilmember Fuller. Do you have a report for us this evening, ma'am?
Parks and Rec will have their meeting July 14th, which is this Wednesday. Parks and Rec Board. Park improvement is going to begin on July 9th. Independence Day celebration, like we said, the great success, and even with the rain on Saturday, parking lot project. Next event is going to be Friday, July 23rd, Truck Friday.
Standing. Independence Day celebration, it worked out. We got all the smaller events taking place during the day. I think those who were away for the weekend, 4th of July, were actually able to join us Monday evening for the fireworks. So I think it did work out with a much larger crowd. Mayor Pro Tem Vigliotti, what do you have for us this evening?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the police departmental report for the month of June 2021. The total number of dispatched or generated calls for service numbered 541. The total number of citations issued were 167. The total number of warnings issued were 225. The total number of adult arrests were 30, and the total number of juvenile arrests were 0. We want to take a special moment to note that National Night Out will indeed be held this year. It's going to be held on August 3rd, 2021 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Taneytown Volunteer Fire Department Carnival Grounds. With everything that's gone on in the last couple of years and the increasing negativity that a lot of people bear toward the police, this is a phenomenal opportunity to come out, to support them, to encourage them, and to learn more about what they do and to get a better handle of who these brave individuals are who service our community every day and every night. So if you are not doing anything on August 3rd, I very strongly encourage you to come out to the park. I also have the training and education report for the month of June 2021 for the Taneytown Police Department. We are in the third quarter of in-service training online through Police One Academy. Our officers were working on communication skills and identity theft crimes. Our supervisors are working on leadership, leadership in law enforcement, and leadership versus management. Of special note, we had some specialized training going on as well. Officer Williams attended the Leadership Development Institute, where he studied diet and nutrition. Sergeant Castellar and Officer Williams also attended Managing Conflict and Confrontation. Senior Patrol Officer Sakadalis attended a class for Scenarios and Tactics for the Field Training Officer, and Corporal Schaefer attended the Managing Across Generations class. And one last quick thing, and Jay, I hope you don't mind me throwing this to you. I noticed on Facebook that you had taken a picture with Clara for the Clerks Award that she received, and I was wondering if you could talk just about that for a minute or two.
Certainly. You took me, still reeling from the other awards. So, okay. Every year there is a National Honor Roll of Clerks across the entire nation, where clerks can be nominated for whatever they've accomplished for good deeds. And so as the city attorney, I'm one of the people that can nominate people. I got a form. And Clara, as you all know, but I'm sure the world knows, not only sits here at the meetings and takes minutes, but she is basically the backbone of our town. Everything works through her office, whether it's notices, correspondence, agendas. She puts up with me. She puts up with you all. She does the BZA stuff. She does the elections. She does the HR. I mean, she does a lot. And I had the opportunity to work with her now for many years, but this past year is important to realize that when you all come up with a new policy, nobody on this side really complains. But when you said that the elections were going to be by mail and in person, and we're going to really do a lot of absentees and things like that, that puts a lot on just her, no one else. And her performance in the election is always stellar, but this year it went off without a hitch at all, and we had no problems. And so that made me think that she's really worthy of being on the honor roll. So I filled out an application and I sent it in. They review the applications across the country, and then they made it or not, and Clara was selected. So she received her pin and her citation, and it is a big feather in her cap and in the city's cap because the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, which is their organization, also recognizes this honor roll. You're wonderful.
That is very true, she is.
Mr. Mayor, that's all for me this evening. Clara, congratulations, and Jay, congratulations on your Jay Gullo Day.
Very much.
Councilwoman Foster, do you have anything for us this evening?
I don't have anything to report on Public Works just yet. Possibly by August, there will be something to. I just would like to mention that I attended the ceremony for our outgoing state's attorney on Friday. Very nice ceremony. In talking with him, I understand, though I don't know I can't remember exactly what the dates are. There's a small window of time before he's a working judge that he would be able to attend our business breakfast that I understand we are going to try to start up in September. So I would encourage us to try to get him on the schedule in the very beginning to attend one of our.
Councilman Haynes, what do you have for us this evening?
I have a couple things, but before I get into it, I want to extend my deepest congratulations to you, Lee. Really excited to work with you. I'm excited to see you up here. Congrats. So, in terms of economic development, Mish is, as always, some items of note. He is in talks with local partners like Burke, FSK, the community college, to address workforce concerns and to come up with some local solutions to employees that are mainly trade employees that are going to age out of their positions without suitable entry-level candidates to fill those roles, and then encouraging a post-COVID workforce to get back into the job market locally. In addition to that, Mish is in collaboration with a couple property owners of dilapidated properties and trying to figure out how we can help them enhance those properties either for their commercial or residential use. And he's also fervently taking advantage of educational resources. Maryland Economic Development Association, International Economic Development Council, things like that. Just kind of figuring out where he can learn to take those skills, bring them home. And then just want to cap it off with a friendly reminder that Mish is always willing to make himself available to the Mayor and Council for any questions or concerns about economic development.
All right, thank you to everyone on council for reports. I'll provide a brief report as well. Lee, thank you so much for being willing to join us up here. Sat at this table for many years as the chair of BZA. I know they don't meet that often. I think you did a tremendous job there, and I think that probably impacted the council's decision to bring you up to the council. Now that leaves me vacancies I have to fill. Fun anymore. But congratulations to you, and I know you're going to fit in great. I've told everybody, whenever they say the city's doing really well, I give all that credit to the council. I've always said I have the best council I could possibly ask for, and Darrell Hale, it was a tough decision, but I think having you in this seat, you're joining probably the best council the city's ever had. Accomplish a lot because of their willingness to work together and willingness to work with me as well, and I appreciate that. Many of us attended back at the end of June the MML Summer Conference, gave us an opportunity to attend sessions, talk with other elected officials around the state, also gave us a time to kind of unwind and kind of spend some social time together. I think we had a lot of fun. We also came back with a lot of new knowledge. I know every year I come back with a list of ideas, some of them not even related to the session I'm sitting in at the time, but it just pops in my head and I happen to have something to write down on. But it's always a great time. It's in Ocean City, but it's rarely a vacation. A lot of work done down there. Also, want to thank Parks and Rec, as well as the Police Department and Public Works and all the other city staff who helped out on the Independence Day celebration. It was very exciting that the city could hold such an amazing event to celebrate what I think was probably the best fireworks display I'd seen in a long time. I went to Gettysburg Sunday night. I think this one blew that out of the water. And I think people on Facebook agreed with that. It was great to see people excited about Taneytown on social media. Last thing I want to mention is, once again, over the weekend, we did have a devastating building fire on East Baltimore Street. Very sad when that happens. Fortunately, in this case, there was no loss of life. There were 2 people transported from the scene, 1 for burns, 1 for asthma related to smoke inhalation. Keep in mind, there's multiple apartments in that building. I believe 12 people are without a place to live right now. And in addition to that, probably all of their belongings, except for the clothes on their back, was destroyed in that fire. So I do encourage you, if you have extras, if you have an ability, there are people on Facebook gathering things for these folks, and I think it's important. I want to thank our fire department. I want to thank our police department, who are really the first ones on scene, as well as the departments from surrounding communities. I counted at least 6 different departments that came to work on this fire. It means a lot when they can all just come in, work together, most of them having never worked together before, but they know what to do when they come onto a fire. So I thank everybody, the community, the emergency workers, and everyone, for making the best of it that they can. I mean, they did save the majority of the building, and having no loss of life is always an answer to prayer. But I do ask you to keep them in your prayers. And also, hopefully, this is something that we can avoid. This is the second building fire on East Baltimore Street we've had in 4 years. I'm afraid it's going to start looking like we're knocking teeth out of a row down here if we keep losing these. That's all I have for this evening. If there is nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning and going home, signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Thought not. Have a great evening, all.